According to legend, for decades along the Scottish coastline, people vanished without a trace. Travelers disappeared on lonely roads, and dismembered body parts began washing up on shore. The truth, it was said, was far worse than anyone imagined. Hidden inside a coastal cave lived Alexander Sawney Bean and his family, a clan of incestuous cannibals who survived by ambushing, murdering, and consuming unsuspecting victims. Though the story exists somewhere between folklore and history, the legend of the Bean clan remains one of Scotland's most disturbing tales and the inspiration behind some of modern horror's most brutal films. Are you excited?
What? Is this true?
Never heard of this, huh?
No, is this true?
So the more I dug, the more it's most likely stories being spun a little out of control based on true events. Like maybe it's been over the years a little embellished, but
The Hills of Eyes.
I mean, exactly. I even watched the movie.
Hello, friends and family. Welcome back to another episode of Weekly Bazaar. I'm Montana.
I'm Jessica.
I'm back.
Welcome back, new mother.
I feel rusty.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel so rusty right now.
I kind of do too, only because last week's episode wasn't really scripted at all. It was just sitting and like hanging out with my sisters, so it didn't really feel like an episode. I get it. So yeah, we gotta get back in the swing of things around here.
Okay, so when I'm back, it feels like an episode. Great.
Well, I have a script. I have I put long hours into this script and it's all ready to go.
I have to finally work now.
Montana's back. It feels like work again.
That bitch.
So how was your time away? A lot has changed.
Yeah. It's been a year. And it's January. It's not bad. Just, the fun newborn trenches. So just trying to keep her alive every day right now is my main focus. And I was telling Ryan, I was like, it almost feels like it's limbo. I feel like I'm in limbo right now because it's a whole new, different routine, obviously, but the days go by so fast for doing like nothing, even though you're not doing nothing. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
It's just
like
a very
blur.
weird feeling. Yeah, it's just a very weird feeling. Like I'm not really I don't know how to explain it. I mean, obviously everyone that's been through it knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a weird time right now.
Yeah. And especially right after you bring them home, like you're kind of in this bubble for a while. Like is this bubble where nothing else really seems to exist, even though it does.
Yeah, like I haven't been outside in days and I'm like, I don't know what's out there. There could be apocalypse
Nothing
out
special.
there. Yeah, it could be apocalypse out there and I won't even know because I haven't left the house. And that's the downfall though of having a January baby is it's really cold. So I can't go outside and just take a walk. It's so cold right now.
It is so cold and it's only going to get colder. Welcome to Ohio.
Yeah. So that's all I got other than I'm just in a limbo feeling, but baby's healthy. Labor was healthy. Everything's good. Recovering well.
Baby's adorable. I finally got to meet her. So stinking cute.
Yeah.
You just instantly fall in love with her as soon as you see her.
The only thing she has of mine is my dimple.
I think she has your face. I think as she gets older, she's
like
gonna
Ryan.
look like you. Her hair definitely looks like Ryan.
Yeah, that girl's got a lot of hair. Told you I wasn't kidding about that heartburn. The acid reflux. No.
Yeah, it's no wonder you were so sick.
I know, but I don't know if the hair had anything to do with being nauseous for 34 weeks. I don't know. It could be. I don't know. But she has a lot of hair.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. She definitely does. How's it feel to not be pregnant anymore?
Oh, I freaking love it.
Because I know that was your favorite thing in the world.
I love not being pregnant. I still have to remind myself I'm not pregnant sometimes. So I'll be like, I can't have that. Like, oh, wait, yes, I can. I can't lay on my stomach. Oh, wait, yes, I can. I can do things. Feels wonderful.
Yeah, laying on the stomach, that was my favorite thing after I had Dominic. Like, oh, I could lay on my stomach again.
I don't sleep on my stomach. I'm not a stomach sleeper, but, there's exercises I like to do on my stomach. Not that I can go crazy right now, but just no restrictions. That's what I'm like loving is no restrictions.
To the real world.
But I'm here. Yeah, I'm here. Like when you came over there today, I'm just like, Jessica.
Something outside of the bubble came in the bubble.
That's a little taste of the outside world. Like, tell me everything.
That reel that I sent you, where it's like, this is how people should act when introverted, recluse people are like coming over to your house or something like that. She's like on the phone. She's like, and she hangs up the phone and she's like, the queen is coming. Yes, the queen is coming.
A little taste of outside. What's it like? I'm like, tell me all the stories. What's up with work? What's up with this person? What's up with the world?
All the hot goss.
Yeah.
Yeah. It made me realize that more goes on than I think because I actually did have things to tell you about. Like normally I'm like, nothing really happens, but yeah.
Because I'm the one that deals with it.
Yeah, now I do.
Yeah, I see more of things. But no, I see more of things than you do, and now you're kind of taking my place for a little bit, and you're like, okay, I get it now. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. That note.
Let's talk about people eating each other.
This is a doozy. This is a real doozy. And it took me down some paths that I thought that I had been down in the past, but I hadn't. Like all these years. No, movie-wise. Like things that I thought that I've watched that I actually didn't watch. So before we get into the case, it's worth mentioning why the story might seem familiar to our horror fans out there. The legend of Sawney Bean is widely believed to have inspired Wes Craven's 1977 film, The Hills Have Eyes. So all these years, I thought that I have seen that movie. And I was thinking of Wrong Turn this whole time. So I looked. Oh. Yeah. Anytime I've said The Hills Have Eyes, that's what I've been talking about. And I thought it took place in West Virginia in the mountains, but again, wrong turn. So I was completely off the mark with this. And I watched the movie, and let me tell you, if you haven't seen it, it's okay. It was a real banger, let me tell you.
So did you watch the old one, or did you watch the newer ones?
I did. I watched the original, yes, because if that's what was allegedly this was based off of, I wanted to see that. But oh my gosh, the costumes were hilarious. Like with the cannibals, I was expecting to see, like super deformed, super like inbred. It looked like they went to the thrift store and just picked out random clothes and put them on them. Like that was what they looked like for the most part. And there was one chick that all she did was scream the whole time. I'm like, oh God.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. They definitely deformed him a lot more in the newer films. Did you see the newer films?
Yeah. No, I did not. Okay. I did not. Because after watching that first one and trying my best to get through it, it's like, I don't know if I can do this again. But they're probably better, I would say. I mean, just more modernized. But yeah, to me, it was almost a comedy. I know how dark that sounds, but there were some funny moments just because of the time it was made.
Maybe not in the 70s. They were scared of the movie.
Yeah, I probably would have been back then too.
I feel like the only movie that's still terrifying to this day made back then is Jaws.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care.
Worst nightmare.
Come at me.
One of.
Come at me. Jaws still holds.
You're right. It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
So
Time.
So you've seen the Wrong Turn movies?
I saw one of them at some point. Now I'm starting to question what I have and haven't seen. Because, I mean, I could have sworn.
I mean, they're very similar. They're both deformed cannibals, but I feel like with Wrong Turn, the first one's the best. They're just making them to make them at this point. They just go downhill. There's like 7 or 8 now.
Was that the one? Did he have a chainsaw in one part? Or am I mixing that up with something else? Okay. I don't want to give away spoilers, but there was a guy got his leg sawed off, and then he put him up on a hook.
Babe, that's Texas Chainsaw.
Damn it. See? Yeah, I can't remember anything. It's been so long since I've watched any of these.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not spoiler. It's been out since like 2000. Come on. Yeah, he cuts off his leg and then he puts him on a meat hook.
In the basement.
Yeah, and then at one point he's like playing the piano with his toes or something, and then he just begs Jessica Biel's character to basically kill him at that point.
Yeah, see, I'm wondering if I've even seen Wrong Turn. I feel like I have, but...
So, Wrong Turn has, what's her name? Eliza Dushku, whatever her last name is. She was in Bring It On. Her boyfriend breaks up with her, so her friends decide to take her out camping to get her away because that's her thing. And then that's when their car gets messed up, and then that's when they run into like cannibals, and then the cannibals eat them. Instead of like something nuclear deforming them, it's because they're inbred. It's like an inbred family. That's why they look like that. And I think that is more Appalachia. Is wrong.
And that sounds more like the story that I'm telling today because they were inbred as well. So yeah, when I was doing the research on this, I was expecting that kind of a plot, but it was pretty different. So I don't know. And again, it's not a guarantee that is where he got his idea for this. It's just speculated from what I could tell.
I mean, there are tribes that still practice cannibalism. Yeah. Speaking of horror movies, have you seen Green Inferno?
No. Is it new?
I think it's late 2000s. It's Eli Roth. So that alone should tell you how gory it is.
Do I know who Eli Roth is?
He's the director, creator, whatever he is. He's the one that makes really gory movies. If you want a really gory cannibal movie, then watch Green Inferno. That one is really hard to watch, even for me. It is very, very cannibal-y and very gory. And like I said, if you know Eli Roth, you know. He also recreated Cabin Fever. Let me see what else he's done. You have at least seen one of his movies. He's a big horror guy.
Yeah, I'm not a horror gal. I mean, I like it when I watch it, but it's not something I seek out usually. So there's a lot of horror I have not seen.
Okay, he's done the Hostel movies. Does that tell you something?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's behind the Hostel movies. Oh, he did Borderlands. Did you ever play Borderlands?
No, it's funny that you say that because those window people that were here for like 4 hours, the chick that was with them, she was a gamer girl like me, and she was like raving about that game and how I should play it. It's like, I probably will. But yeah, I know they made a series, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They made the movie Borderlands. I don't know if there's a series, but Fallout reminds me of Borderlands. I never played Fallout, but even like watching the series, I'm like, this reminds me so much of Borderlands. So I think if you like Fallout, you like Borderlands.
Yeah, it sounds like a good game.
It's fun. I used to play it, surprisingly. Yeah, not a big gamer like you.
So I thought we'd talk a little bit about good old Wes Craven, since he allegedly took a lot of inspiration from this. And I thought it was cool that he was born in Cleveland.
He was?
I didn't know that.
R.I.P.
Yeah. He was born in Cleveland, Ohio. Widely regarded as one of the most influential directors in horror cinema, best known for creating iconic horror franchises such as A Nightmare on Elm Street and Scream. And also one of my favorites growing up that I watched a million times, The People Under the Stairs. It was such a good one.
What was his name, Fool?
The one without a tongue?
No, the little boy. Wasn't it Fool? They call him Fool?
Fool? So, yeah. It's been a long time since I've watched that too.
No. The one without a tongue. I think his name was Roach.
It was. Yeah.
Roach, yeah.
Wow.
That's a good
I need to
movie.
watch that again.
My favorite movie.
I want to watch
but
that and Flowers
anything.
in the Attic.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I don't really remember a whole lot about that one. I just remember my sister and I watched it a lot, and there's a lot of it I forget, but what's new? So Craven has spoken about being influenced by the idea of hidden, isolated families living outside of society, cut off from civilization, surviving through violence, and preying on unsuspecting travelers, which, like we've talked about already, is In the Hills Have Eyes. That's the concept there. A little fun fact, his daughter's name is Jessica.
Was she born around the 80s?
She's older than me. I think she maybe 10 years or so older than me. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, that is such an 80s name.
Well, you were born in the 80s.
So whether or not he actually did take inspiration from this story, I'm going to assume he did, just to make it more interesting. So let's get into Alexander Sawney Bean and who he was.
Dun, dun.
According to accounts that date back to the 16th century, so this was a long time ago, Alexander Sawney Bean was the leader of a massive clan, said to number anywhere from 30 to 45 people, who lived along the southwest coast of Scotland. Over the course of roughly 25 years, the family allegedly murdered and cannibalized more than 1,000 victims, all while remaining undetected. It's a lot of people.
I don't know if I buy that number, but you never know.
And again, it's worth noting that this is considered legendary rather than historically proven. There are no records confirming the case, and many historians believe it may have been exaggerated or used as propaganda against the Scots. That said, the details are so specific and so disturbing that I decided whether it's true or not, it's worth telling. And I truly believe that stories like this are typically inspired by true events. So let's talk about it anyways.
I mean, it could be like based on a true story, and then you just kind of take little bits of that true story. You know what I mean?
Like, I wouldn't put it, I would believe that there was a family that probably lived in a cave that were probably incestuous and like we're just trying to survive that way. And maybe that got blown out of proportion because they were outcasts. So stories got spun about them. You know, it could be something like that.
I believe that. Yeah.
So the story appeared in the Newgate Calendar, a crime catalog of Newgate Prison in London from the 18th and 19th centuries. So this is when the story first came to the surface, I guess. According to the legend, Sawney Bean was born in East Lothian sometime in the 1500s. His father was a laborer, a ditch digger, and hedge trimmer, and Bean was expected to follow in the same line of work. He refused, claiming he wasn't suited for honest labor and had no interest in earning a living that way. Instead, Bean drifted through life until he met a woman who shared his violent and antisocial tendencies, Agnes Douglas, often referred to as Black Agnes. And I tried to find stuff about her, but anything about her was just tied to the story. So I don't really know why she got the name Black Agnes, other than she was described as cruel and aggressive. So
sounds like an Agnes.
And folklore suggests that she may have been labeled a witch, which is likely where the nickname came from. But that's literally all I could find. Together, Bean and Agnes fled society and turned to robbery, attacking lone travelers and stealing whatever they could. And see, even this I could believe. Like that's probably what they were doing. Like they were living off the land in a cave, had to get by somehow, so they would rob the people passing by on the nearby road. And then it got blown out of proportion, perhaps. Or maybe not. Maybe it actually happened. I don't know, because they had to eat.
Damn outlaws.
Theft alone didn't satisfy them for long. Violently, oh my God, I cannot read today.
Today?
Violence escalated. Yeah, today. Violence escalated any day, and eventually murder became routine. Needing a permanent place to hide, the couple settled in a large coastal cave along the Galloway coast, near the road between Girvan and Ballantrae. Sorry if I'm saying stuff wrong. Ballantrae, maybe, is better.
It sounds
The
better
cave
if you
was
have
reportedly-
a Scottish accent.
Yeah, Ballantrae. That's what we'll say. The cave was reportedly around 200 yards deep and ideally positioned. During high tide, seawater completely concealed the entrance, making it nearly impossible to detect. It became the foundation of their operation and eventually their home. And as I was looking into this, I stumbled upon a video on YouTube where a couple went and visited this cave, and they recorded the whole thing and went inside, and it's creepy as hell. But there's a lot of graffiti and stuff in there now, so
they're not the only ones that
but it was
this cave.
No, but it is there, and it is, it's where they say it was. So whether or not that was the exact cave, I'm not sure, but if it was, even if it wasn't, it was creepy and huge.
Who knows what's really back there if you really investigate it. I'm not into spelunking, so.
Yeah, I don't know. With stuff like that, talking about the tides rising and whatever, I don't think I'd be going in a cave that was that close to the ocean that could potentially get filled with water. I don't know. No thanks. So this cave was perfect for them.
Oh, I was going to say, speaking of horror movies, have you seen The Descent?
You asked me this a couple episodes ago.
I know, and I can't remember what you said.
Haven't.
Ugh. Watch The Descent.
Oh, but I do want to watch it.
Talk about spelunking. That movie it's creepy. You need to watch it.
Yeah. See if I can get Tony to watch it with me. He gets super creeped out, though.
Don't watch it alone, but watch it in the dark.
So the cave was perfect for them while they were carrying out their criminal activities. Another thing that made it ideal for Black Agnes and Bean was the structure itself. The rock formation was full of tunnels and hidden passageways, with multiple secret entrances and exits. The cave system was said to stretch for over a mile, giving them plenty of space to hide, move unseen, and avoid detection. As time went on, they began building their family. They had 6 daughters and 8 sons. Those children would go on to produce 14 granddaughters and 18 grandsons. What? And no, these children did not leave the cave to find partners on their own. According to the legend, their family practiced incest, with brothers and sisters having children together, creating generation after generation, some who never knew life outside that cave. It's a family affair.
I don't know, just having a baby a week ago, this hits differently.
Could you imagine? Where were they all going to the bathroom is what I want to know, because I bet that smelled fucking terrible. Of course, I would think about something like that.
So they had 14 kids of their own, and then those 14 kids had their own kids with each other.
Yep.
This is more wrong turn.
It's somewhere around 45 of them. Crazy.
Yeah, this is wrong turn. This
45.
isn't House of Eyes.
So by this point, Bean and Black Agnes had a large number of mouths to feed and no legitimate way to support themselves. Instead of seeking honest work, they turned fully to robbery and murder. Killing their victims meant there were no witnesses, and no one ever suspected that the family was living deep inside that cave.
Why would they?
Exactly. Especially where it's located. Like, if you didn't actively go down there looking for it, you'd probably never even know it was there.
Ugh.
As the family grew, Bean realized he couldn't carry out these crimes alone. He involved his sons, daughters, and even his grandchildren. The entire clan began working together, operating as a unit, essentially swarming their unsuspecting victims. What started as survival quickly became their way of life, almost like a twisted family trade passed down through generations. Despite having no formal skills or education, Bean proved to be highly organized. He was especially skilled at planning ambushes and constructing traps. The family became frighteningly effective at it. They would lie in wait near the roads, setting up ambushes and attacking travelers who were alone or moving in small groups. Larger groups were avoided, but lone passersby and small parties were easy targets. I'd say for their level of intelligence, that was pretty smart of them to not attempt bigger groups of people.
They knew
you wouldn't
their
think that they would think on that level. Yeah. They wouldn't attack large groups because there was always a risk of being overpowered. Instead, the Bean clan focused on easier targets. Once a victim was ambushed, they would be robbed, kidnapped, and dragged back to the cave, where they were brutally murdered. Afterward, the bodies were dismembered. The family would cook and eat the flesh, using the victims as their primary food source. Nothing was wasted, allegedly. Any remaining pieces were preserved, often pickled and stored in jars so they could be eaten later. And this just made me stop and think, what is it with murderers and people like this pickling shit? You know, it immediately made me think of
H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes.
Yeah.
So, because my brain went down this rabbit hole, I had to look into it to see if there was a list of people like this that were known to pickle parts. And I think I may have found another episode out of this because I'd never heard of some of these.
Are you going to say them right now?
Yeah. So I looked it up. I Googled like something like what killers are known for preserving body parts or pickling body parts or something like that. Number 1, Jeffrey Dahmer.
He pickled? I thought he just
preserved.
froze the meat. Okay. I was like, I thought he just froze it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of a broad spectrum type of thing, but like preserving, pickling, keeping the parts for later. Leftovers, if you will. So, in case you don't know, and if you don't know, do you live under a rock? Dahmer is perhaps the most notorious for preserving remains. When police searched his apartment in 1991, they found vat preservation, a 57-gallon drum containing 3 human torsos submerged in a corrosive chemical solution designed to dissolve flesh, hard organs. Multiple internal organs, including hearts and livers, were found in his refrigerator and freezer. He admitted to eating parts of at least 3 of his victims. Trophy preservation. He kept 7 human skulls and 4 intact heads as trophies. And his preservation methods were formaldehyde and chloroform to preserve parts he had collected, and he had a collection of animal bones in jars dating back to his childhood. Number 2, this I may be doing a future episode on, so stay tuned. Leonardo, oh boy, this is a hard one. Cianciulli. This is Italian.
All right, well,
I'm butchering it.
I guess if you do a future episode, just make sure you get her name right. Or is this a man?
I gotta.
Or is this a woman?
It's a woman.
Leonardo. Even better.
Leonardo Cianciulli. the soap maker of Correggio. Hopefully I got that at least right. Correggio. An Italian serial killer who murdered 3 women between 1939 and 1940. Her pickling process was a means of disposal and reuse. Chemical dissolution. She boiled her victims' body parts in a large pot with caustic soda or sodium hydroxide to turn them into a thick, dark mush. Soap making.
She turned them
She
into
used
soap?
the melted fat to create bars of soap. Yes. Have you ever heard of this?
No, but
I'd
she would
never
really
heard of this.
love the 600-pound life people.
Rue.
To
Be a
be
gold
mean,
mine
but
for her.
She'd be set up for life.
So yeah, she
Ugh.
made the soap and handed it out to the neighbors and acquaintances.
I was about to ask, did she sell it?
I don't know. I'll have to look more into it, but I at least know she gave it to people. I don't know if she was making money off of it or not. Probably.
Please do.
And then culinary reuse. Yeah, I will. She dried the victim's blood in an oven, ground it into powder, and mixed it with flour, sugar, and chocolate to make tea cakes that she served to her guests.
Just the creativity.
Number 3. I know. It's so...
Like, how do you come up with this?
The human brain, how certain people's works, just blows my mind. Ed Gein.
Oh, shocker. I knew he was going to be on here.
Yeah. Ed Gein.
What did
He
Ed
used
Gein
human
do?
skin to upholster chairs and create bowls from skulls. He kept noses, human faces, which he tanned and preserved to wear as masks.
He kept the vulvas.
Preserved female genitalia in shoe boxes, heart in a plastic bag. Yeah, it's crazy. And then we've talked about Joe Metheny or Metheny.
Yeah, but he's still allegedly, at least with these people, they have proof, right?
Yeah.
He's still allegedly.
True. Yeah, he's still allegedly. And a lot of people think that he was talking a bunch of shit just to make it seem like he was cooler than he actually was. Not that that's cool, but you know.
Yeah.
And then number 5, which again, I've never heard of. Andrei Chikatilo, the Butcher of Rostov. A Soviet serial killer who murdered at least 52 women and children. While he did not keep trophies in the same way as Dahmer, he was known for immediate consumption. I've never heard of this guy either. This sounds like an episode we could do. I mean, 52 women and children, that's a lot.
That's a lot. And that's probably what they found or he confessed to, which is probably more. There's always more.
But yeah, he liked to consume the organs, specifically hearts, lungs, and sexual organs of his victims immediately after killing them.
Okay, vampire. They taste so fresh that way? Jeez.
Yeah. Not real sure why that one made the list. Because he didn't really preserve anything. He just ate them. But anyway, this is a common theme. It's like keeping body parts. It's very, very fascinating.
It's like people that do this all have that same type of brain chemistry. It's like a certain type of brain chemistry is my guess.
Yeah, it almost strips you of like your sense of what it is to have humanity. Like it's just gone. Totally gone.
Something.
So once the bodies had been, we're back to the beans now. Once the bodies had been completely stripped of anything useful, the remaining parts were disposed of. The beans would place dismembered remains into barrels and dump them into the sea. The tides would eventually carry these barrels or their contents back to shore. When body parts began washing up along the coastline, local residents assumed the deaths were the result of animal attacks or accidents at sea. No one suspected that an entire family was responsible, living hidden deep within a coastal cave. So I was thinking, clearly they weren't washing up in the barrels, otherwise they wouldn't have thought they were animals. Like they must have been coming out of the barrels, the body parts, and just washing up on their own.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what technology they had in the 1600s, but I feel like you can tell a difference between an animal bite and something getting chopped off, right?
Yeah.
You would think the difference.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless they were like severely decomposed at that point, because I think decomposition happens faster in water, if I'm correct, maybe. But that reminded me of there were so many parts of this that reminded me of other stories that I've heard, but that reminded me of the one where the body parts were washing up on the shores of the West Coast here in the Pacific Northwest.
What?
You remember me talking about that? The Salish Sea.
I mean, maybe.
I guess since 2007. I was going to do an episode on it once, but there really wasn't a whole lot of information. And I think they kind of figured out what it was, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't sound like it really to me, but I guess over 20 detached human feet have been discovered along the coasts of the Salish Sea. Get back in the swing. Get back in the swing. In the Pacific Northwest, initial theories range from serial killers to natural disasters, but foul play has been ruled out in almost all cases by authorities in both the US and Canada. The majority of these cases have been identified using DNA and forensic genealogy. Most have been linked to individuals who were reported missing and are believed to have died by accident or suicide. So see, that's still pretty vague. Like, how do you know? I mean, their body parts are still floating to shore, so.
Especially the feet. What's up with all the feet?
Exactly. And a lot of them were still in their shoe.
That's even weirder. Is it because they're just
I know.
They're just decomposing, so they're falling off the body?
It must be, and I'd say because shoes are kind of buoyant.
But how do you tell?
Maybe that's why they're the parts.
Yeah, but how do you tell that they committed suicide by a foot in a shoe?
Exactly.
That's all that washed up.
How do you know?
Okay, we have the DNA, but doesn't prove how they died.
Not at all. Not at all. They're just trying to keep people calm.
No, we need like a forensic person on here one day because I don't understand forensics sometimes. And by sometimes, I mean all
I know. I don't know. Lots of weird shit going on. So back to the beans. I know I keep taking little side quests. Over time, the number of missing people combined with the body parts washing ashore became impossible to ignore. I'm going to pretend like I didn't just mess that sentence up too. Keep rolling with it.
Keep rolling.
You heard me.
I didn't notice anything.
Sha, sha, sha. The locals began to realize that something was seriously wrong, even though they had no idea what or who was responsible.
Shit.
The Bean clan spent their days hidden inside the cave and only emerged at night. I'd do the same thing. Most people in the area were indoors after dark. Ooh, yeah. That'd be way cooler than inbred vampires. Inbred cannibals.
They could be inbred vampires.
Could be. Who knows? I mean, they could fit in the category. So most people in the area were indoors after dark, and the coastline near the cave was unlit and difficult to see. And if it's the cave that I saw that those people went to, it's like really far down off the road. Like you have to basically climb down to the shoreline where the cave is. So it'd be easy to miss it.
I feel like you also have to find this cave by accident, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I feel like you stumble upon it by accident unless you're really looking for it.
Definitely. Yeah, okay. Because even like as they were walking up to it on the coastline, it was hard to even tell that it was a cave back there because it was really far back and it was a very narrow pass to get to it and a lot of rocks everywhere. So it would have been very easy to miss.
Okay. That's what I'm picturing, just very hard to get to unless you're really looking for it. Okay.
And because of how big the cave itself was, like even if they had fires lit in there, if they were far back far back enough in the cave, you probably wouldn't have been able to see it either. So,
Makes
plus,
sense.
I mean, it's facing out to the sea. Like, nobody's going to be down there, at least not at night.
No, because I feel like you probably could get washed up too with water or something. I mean, I don't know how the waves are, but
yeah, and the tides, like, who knows how far to the cave the tides would go.
Mm-hmm.
But by the sounds of it, it was very close to the cave because it essentially concealed them without flooding it.
That's creepy. That's like creepy. Could you imagine just going like on a romantic walk at night with your like significant other, not even knowing?
No.
See, that's a horror movie right there.
No way. Yeah, definitely is. Yeah, somebody needs to actually make this a movie, not just be inspired by it. Like, make it into a movie. It'd be a good one.
Creepy.
So because of the location of the cave and everything we've just been talking about, no one realized how close they were living to the people responsible for these killings.
What I just said.
And as the disappearances continued, villagers eventually banded together to search for whoever was behind it. They organized hunts and searched the surrounding area, determined to leave no stone unturned. At one point, the cave itself was noticed, but it was dismissed. The idea that anyone could be living deep inside a coastal cave seemed impossible. I think I would have investigated anyway. I mean, that's not exactly no stone unturned to me. Just saying.
Well, I mean, they're probably like, what kind of human would live here in this cave?
True. And I bet in their wildest dreams, they weren't imagining it was like 40-some people, too.
Which is even crazier.
They were probably thinking, yeah, it's a couple people hiding out somewhere. But you would think with that many of them, it would be very difficult to stay hidden. That's a lot of people. I mean, that's essentially like a small village.
Yeah, but you said it was like a mile long, right? A mile long in the cave. Yeah. So maybe they just made, like, let's say they went half a mile down. They're like, okay, this is ridiculous. There's no one going to be here. And probably turned around. Like, who knows?
True.
And I'm sure that
they probably knew the cave systems so well that if they did hear somebody coming and poking around, they knew exactly where to hide.
Yeah, and probably, like you said, there seemed to be like entrances and exits out they only knew about. And obviously, if they're in a cave their whole life, they're going to have a lot better eyesight in the darkness than the average human being.
True. Good point. Yeah. Very good point. Breeding with that adaptability, probably it just got better and better. Ew, what if their eyes would glow in the dark? Kind of like if an animal's eyes catch the light. I wonder if they were more like that. This could be a good movie. This could be a really good movie.
TM.
Frustration quickly turned to fear, and fear turned into anger. With no clear suspects, villagers began accusing anyone who seemed suspicious. Rumors spread, and blame was placed on anyone and everyone. Didn't matter who you were a potential suspect. And this led to innocent people being arrested and hung without evidence. The belief was that if enough people were punished, the killings would eventually stop. So it's like, let's just kill people until it doesn't happen anymore. It's terrible.
Oh, it's like the Salem witch trials. Got it.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
Witch.
But instead, the opposite happened. Despite the hangings, more people continued to disappear and more body parts continued to wash ashore, making it clear that the real killers were still out there. With no clear suspect, villagers began redirecting their suspicions toward innkeepers and others who regularly interacted with travelers. The logic was that these people were often the last to see the victims alive. As accusations grew, many innkeepers feared they would be next to be blamed and executed. Some abandoned their businesses entirely, fleeing without warning to avoid suspicion. I'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not waiting around to be killed. Out of here.
It's like they kill you, ask questions later.
Yeah. So around this time, a local fair had taken place. The Bean clan, having exhausted their food supply, left the cave in search of new victims. They targeted travelers returning home late at night from the fair. That night, they spotted a husband and wife riding together on horseback. Seeing them as an easy target, the clan surrounded the couple and launched an ambush from behind. The woman was pulled from the horse almost immediately and attacked. The assault was sudden and brutal. The husband, witnessing what was happening, panicked and tried to escape. Still mounted and armed with both a sword and a pistol, he fought back while forcing his way through the attackers. Against the odds, he managed to break free and flee on horseback.
So the horses were okay?
Yeah, horses were okay. I don't think that was their flavor.
Thank God. Okay.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not even sure this actually happened. But as he escaped, a larger group of fairgoers, around 30 people, were approaching along the same road. The Bean clan, unwilling to confront a large crowd, retreated back toward their cave. However, they had already been seen. For the first time, witnesses had observed the attackers and the direction that they fled. Could you imagine? Oh my God, they heading home from the fair, and then you just see this swarm of inbreds that are like running back down toward the ocean.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, you do a romantic walk on the beach. For them, they're just horseback riding. Mm-hmm. And they just come and surround you out of nowhere. Horror movie.
So the surviving husband made his way to Glasgow as quickly as possible. Once there, he reported what had happened and brought the information directly to King James VI. He described the attack, identified the group responsible, and provided the exact location of the cave where they lived and hunted. Upon hearing this, King James VI immediately organized a force of roughly 400 men and personally led them toward the Bean clan's hiding place. I can't imagine that happening today. Like that timely response. So the king's bloodhounds led the search party directly to the Bean family's cave. I'm wondering why they didn't do this sooner, though.
Does it really surprise you?
No. Honestly, no. When the men entered, they were met with scenes of absolute chaos. Human remains were scattered throughout the cave, severed limbs, body parts hanging from the walls, and clear evidence that victims had been butchered inside. Alongside this, investigators discovered piles of stolen belongings, including jewelry taken from missing travelers. This removed any doubt that the Bean clan was responsible for the disappearances. And from this point, the story splits into two commonly told versions. So the most widely accepted account claims that once discovered, the Bean clan surrendered without a fight. They were taken into custody and transported to the Tolbooth prison in Edinburgh before being moved to either Leith or Glasgow, where their executions were carried out. So I wanted to look a little more into this prison, the Tolbooth prison. So long before, and also, no, this is in Edinburgh.
Okay.
It was like right in the city center for a long time. It's not there anymore, but the video that I was watching of the couple that went into the cave, they went to all the different locations that were allegedly surrounding this, like the story took place. So they went to the cave, they went to where the prison used to stand, and then they also went to another place that I'll tell you in a minute. So that got me wanting to know a little bit more about that prison. And long before modern prisons existed, the Tolbooth of Edinburgh stood as one of Scotland's most feared places of confinement and punishment. First appearing on the Royal Mile as early as the 14th century, the Tolbooth served as a city council, courthouse, and most infamously, the main jail where suspects of every crime, robbery, witchcraft, sedition, and more, were held, tortured, and executed there.
Damn.
Inside its gloomy stone walls, prisoners endured harsh conditions, interrogation with instruments like the pillory and boot, and public executions carried out from a platform above the street so that the town could watch. The pillory was a public punishment device designed to humiliate as much as it harmed. It was a wooden frame with, and we know these well, especially you've seen them in the museum. It was a wooden frame with holes that locked a person's head and hands in place, leaving them exposed in a busy public area. Prisoners could be left there for hours or even days, unable to move, while crowds mocked them through filth, stones, or food scraps, and sometimes physically attacked them. The punishment relied on shame, pain, and public spectacle rather than mercy. The boot, also known as the Scottish boot, was far more brutal. It was an interrogation and torture device used to extract confessions. The victim's leg was placed inside a tight iron or wooden casing, and wedges were hammered down around the limb. As the wedges were driven in, the pressure crushed the bones and flesh of the leg, often causing permanent injury or death. The boot was designed to break the body, and with it, the will of the person being questioned. Heads and body parts of the condemned were often displayed on spikes facing High Street as grim warnings to others. So this place was creepy as shit. Creepy as shit. But despite its brutal reputation, the toll booth stood for over 400 years. By the early 19th century, it had become dilapidated and ugly encumbrance in the heart of the city. So in 1817, the prison and its adjoining buildings were demolished to widen the street and make way for new developments. Today, almost nothing remains of the old prison itself, but its location is still marked on the cobblestones of the Royal Mile by the heart of Midlothian, a heart-shaped emblem set in the pavement. Locals traditionally spit upon it as they pass, a superstitious gesture said to ward off bad luck and symbolically reject the shadow of the toll booth's grim past. I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, think of
dark
how many
times,
people,
man.
Yeah, think of how many innocent people were tortured there.
True. Oh, I can't even imagine.
And like the two tortures you named were not even the worst of the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess those are what it was known for, though. So.
Yeah.
But who knows? Oof. So back to the beans again. Returning from my detour. Back to the beans. I think it's funny that their name was Bean and they were cannibals.
I mean, he had like 14 kids, so maybe he had his name for a reason. Ayo.
The local population was reportedly horrified by the scale of the crimes and demanded punishments far worse than a simple death. As a result, the women of the clan, around 21 in total, were burned alive. The men were dismembered with their hands and feet severed and left to bleed to death. In some accounts, Sawney Bean and several of the other men had their genitals cut off and thrown into a fire before being mutilated further.
Damn, this is what I was talking about. They should have did to the Taco Bell Strangler. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. Exactly. According to the legend, Sawney Bean's final words were said to be, quote, "It isn't over. It will never be over," end quote. The surviving women and children were forced to witness the men's deaths before being tied to stakes and burned alive themselves. These punishments mirrored medieval executions used for crimes such as treason, men subjected to dismemberment, and women burned alive. So that's the first version.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds over
the second version. Exactly. It's over, bud. It's over. It's over, Bean. The second version of events suggests a much quicker end. In this account, the search party detonated gunpowder at the cave entrance, causing the entire clan to suffocate inside it. While this version exists, it's often viewed as less likely, given the scale of the crimes and the punishment standards of the time. Yeah, I would say they wouldn't let them off that easy.
No.
So there's also an additional element to this legend, allegedly. One of the Bean daughters was said to have left the clan before they were discovered. She settled in the nearby town of Girvan and planted a dule tree, which later became known as the Hairy Tree, in the old street graveyard there in Girvan. And these people that I was watching, they went to this graveyard too, to see the tree. And it's since been cut down, but there are a couple different stumps there that they think could have been this tree. And I was looking into the tree itself because I wanted to know what a dule tree is. In Scots, dule means sorrow, grief, or mental distress. Dule trees were used as gallows for public hangings. They were also used as gibbets for the display of the corpse for a considerable period after such hangings. These trees of lamentation or grief were usually grown in prominent positions or at busy thoroughfares, particularly at crossroads, so that justice could be seen to have been done and as a salutary warning to others. So this was a dark freaking time, man. But I know exactly the tree that they're talking about. It's like I know them from video games and like older series and stuff where they just have 5 to 10 bodies just hanging in the tree as like a warning, like don't cross us or this is going to be you next. But again, this is speculation. It's not exactly proven that this actually happened and that the daughter actually escaped. But legend says that after the truth of the Bean clan emerged, her identity was uncovered and she was reportedly executed, hanged from the same tree that she planted. So that's it. That is the Sawney Beans.
Does the couple that you're watching, do they have one theory that they believed was, like, quote, the right one?
The first one.
The first one?
They kind of agreed with, just based on punishments of the time, they would imagine that because of the scale of their murders, that they would have been tortured and executed in that way. And I think the same thing. What do you think?
I mean, it makes the most sense because I feel like the punishment does fit the crimes that they did. And I feel like if the daughter escaped and moved to whatever town for a little bit, I mean, wouldn't she been pretty deformed at that point? So I almost feel like she kind of stick out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of picturing Sloth from the Goonies, just like hey, you guys, just walking around town. Like, wouldn't you notice that something's off about that person?
Yeah, if anything, that she'd be like what do you call that? Like the town goon or the town, I don't know what they're called.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe like, kind of like, because I keep talking about Fallout because we're watching it, but like how the ghouls stick out, you know?
Yeah.
Like everyone knows. So it's kind of like that. Like there's got to be something about her that was off. They're like, oh.
Yeah, you would think. That'd be a lot for her to keep her mouth shut, you know, and to not say something about that, especially, I don't know, like being all she knew was that life in that cave and then to just leave and be able to survive that and not say anything about where she's from, not give something away somehow in conversation. I can't imagine that.
Well, plus,
and how the hell would she know how to function?
That's true. And if they're savages, I feel like they have no problem killing their own kind to keep their mouth shut. Like there's 45 of them. What's just killing one going to make a difference to protect the group? Yeah,
I find that part the most hard to believe out of any of it. But I definitely could see this happening on some scale. I don't think it'd be hard to believe that something like this could happen.
I don't.
Especially back then.
I can believe it. And maybe they just murdered people and ate them because didn't have a good food source.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I mean, they were already they were already attacking them. They were already robbing them. It's just like they saw the convenience and just taking it to the next step and making it like where they could actually live completely independently from society in a horrific way. But yeah, if they could remake a movie and recreate that prison, that'd be cool to see. It sounded so dark and twisted. They could make it almost like the art style of like Sin City, or like, did you watch Sandman on Netflix?
No.
Just super, just dark and shadowed and distorted. Like they could make it cool. It'd be creepy as hell.
They should do, they do horror films. They did Mickey Mouse horror film. They did a Winnie the Pooh horror film. They should do like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Me neither. They're probably terrible. But they should do a Hunchback of Notre Dame horror film.
Yeah.
He's like the murderer, and he brings him up to his tower, and like every time he eats and kills someone, it's like ring the bells, each time.
Well, that would be so cool. Well, they could make that super dark too.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That'd be a good one. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this could have actually happened back in the day? I do. I mean, again, like I said, not to the scale, but I could see it happening for sure.
I don't think it's so far-fetched. Like, isn't there a documentary they did in Appalachia where they're all inbred?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's on Soft White Underbelly is the name of the channel. He goes down and visits them every now and again. I think their last name is Whitaker. The Whitakers.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But like,
and
see?
They're
inbred, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's possible. If we have it now, we definitely had it more back then. So
yeah. But it makes me wonder, have you ever seen any of the Whitakers?
No.
Because they're, depending on the individual, I will say their intelligence does vary, but for the most part, there's a big deficit for sure. And it just makes me think, if it was that far down the line as with the Beans, I can't imagine their intelligence would have been like, I don't even know how they'd function at that point. Who knows?
But I mean, if all they know, being smart or not, if all they know is to stay hidden, attack, it's almost like rules. They're following rules. So I feel like if they dumb or smart, you know what rules to follow, you know what you need to do. So I feel like that wouldn't have made much of a difference. Your main goal is to stay hidden.
And two, like you were saying, if they were more adapted to nighttime, they probably could hardly handle daylight. Like it was probably way too bright for them,
Yeah.
And if they're so used to being in darkness, I can't imagine they would even want to go out during the day.
Exactly.
Oh, this would be such a good movie. Day. True. They probably did.
Inbred vampires.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. The end. Until next time. I do think I want to look more into the soap maker chick. That was wild.
That's disgusting, but I'm intrigued. You got me. I'm intrigued. You sucked me in.
I don't know how I stumble upon this shit. I really don't. I don't.
Random.
But here we are.
Quick question, though. How did you hear about this story?
About Sawney Bean?
Yeah.
I just Google random shit and see what comes up. And then I look, like, I'll get a list of things and look into it and see what really pulls my attention the most. And it just happened to be this today. But like sometimes I'll Google just like I Googled cannibalism, or like what are some cannibalism stories in our history or in history. And it'll bring up a list of things. I'm like, ooh, what's that? And I saw the legend of Sawney Bean or something. I'm like, oh, sounds cool. Clicked on it and just went from there. That's usually how I find things. A lot of people give you ideas, don't they? That's where you get a lot of your stuff. Like I know Ryan sometimes will stumble upon shit.
He's like stumbled upon one thing.
Oh,
Mine's
okay.
Daily Mail. Daily Mail, yo. They have so much on there.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some are from like older podcasts that I can remember watching an episode on, and it was so fascinating to me. So some of my stuff has come from other podcasts, but not recently. It was probably when I first started doing this that came more from like, because I was kind of on that, like, oh, this is what I know. This is what I've been watching. So I pulled a lot of my information from that. But yeah, now I just kind of roll the dice and see what pops up.
Roll the limbs. Well, I'm back. It feels good to be back. It really does. It's like a nice little break from
It's good to have you back.
And everyone's like, aren't you just obsessed with her? And it's like, no, not like I'm not obsessed with her. But then like sometimes when like she has her little foot out, I'm like, oh my God, her foot just makes me want to cry. It's so little. It's so teeny.
She is so tiny.
I know.
Little helpless being that just completely relies on you. You can't help but like just melt. They're so vulnerable.
Especially when she smiles. Yeah, when she smiles, which is like really when she's only sleeping. So it's like, what are you thinking about? But yeah, her little foot, that will get me sometimes. It's just so, it's like this big. It's so little.
Yeah.
Anyway, not obsessed. Well, I want to say thanks to Michelle for filling in for me about your haunted house.
Yeah, she really had a lot of fun doing that.
We love the continued support. We love seeing our social medias continue to grow. That's always nice. Even if you just like want to rate and review on like Spotify or Apple, that would be fantastic too. Just like hit the 5-star
really helps us
button.
out.
And like I said, if you don't like us, then just don't rate. Hit nothing. But you can follow us on all the social medias at Weekly Bizarre Podcast. You can email us about anything at weeklybizarrepodcast@gmail.com. And you can support us on Patreon for only $5 a month. Patreon.com/weeklybizarre. We love you. Stay warm during this brutal cold months. And if you already live somewhere warm, you suck. But anyway, if it's weird,
we're going to talk about it. Bye.
Bye.
Don't get any ideas and go try to eat someone. Don't be weird.
No, do be weird, just not that weird.